What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we are in for a nice pull session with the boys. So what we're going to do is go through a decent pull session. We've got, I think, Al coming in. He's a former powerlifter, sort of transition to like bodybuilding style training now. Then we've got Ollie coming in, and I think big old Luke Stanley, who I trained legs with a couple of weeks ago. He's in as well. We're going to start with some deadlifts, I think Al said he wanted to do stiff leg, but I want to do normal deadlifts. And then we're just going to carry on the pull session from there. Keep you informed of what we're doing, go through each exercise and each movement, and just explain why we might be doing it, what it's targeting, and why you might want to put it into your session next time. So stay tuned. What's in there? Can't even see that. No, you can't even see. What is it?
Well, in the bottom of it is all my creatine pre-workout.
Nice.
I've lost my shape.
Today. What is the session going to be today?
Pull day.
And pull day consists of?
Stiff leg deadlift, machine row, single arm cable row, upper back dumbbell row, upper back cable row, rear delt fly, and biceps.
Sounds like a lot. See if we've got it in us. Deadlifts first. Big Luke, how are you doing?
I don't do deadlifting.
Sweaty hands already.
I've been for a run this morning. I ran 1.2 miles in 8 minutes 30.
Did you driver it?
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Got any proof?
Yeah. So we'll
Show us.
So I lied. It was 1.11 miles is 8 minutes 40. 48.
So we can do it that.
Make it more impressive.
Stand still. Oh, stand still, you dick. Yeah, we've just done the first set of 60, you're going to move on to 100. I'm definitely going to do 10 reps. Just find a wall up and then just go from there, really see how it goes. Yeah, boy, look at them quads. Tank. Ah, go on. Fuck your headphones, go on. Yeah, boy.
Come on, let's go.
Go on. So I went to 170 next, but Luke says go to 180. Easy. Go on, Al, hips.
Yeah, sure. Keep going. Finish it? Yes.
So we just pulled 180 for 4 on that last set. That's actually a PR for me. Al made it look easy, but it was fucking tough. Going to move on to hammer strength row. I think it's single arm stood up, and I'll just explain it as we go through it.
Heart overhead, and I guess love to watch the way you made me into a mess. Hands on my dress, neon red. You were everything I didn't need until you left. Now I'm dancing around my living room. I get drunk on the thought of you and I, when you were mine. See your eyes in every stranger. I replay the way that we were till I'm high. No, it's not right. I miss you missing me like you used to, yeah, like you used to. I miss you kissing me like you used to, like only you do. You know the good things are never as good as the bad, and your love is better than anything I've ever had. Oh, I miss you missing me like you used to, yeah, like you used to. I know you're gone, and you probably just forgot me, yeah, you're moving on. But I can't let go, 'cause I'm still sleeping with the moments, lying with your ghost. Now I'm dancing around my living room. I get drunk on the thought of you and I, and you're not mine. But I miss you missing me like you used to, yeah, like you used to. I miss you kissing me like you used to, like only you do.
So as you saw, that was a pretty poor set for myself, but 40 kilo on that is very heavy for me. We're going to move on to some chest supported dumbbell row on the bench, so give that a whirl. Again, not a strong movement for me, but we'll give it a go. We're here to get big, aren't we?
Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, tested by the motion, loving this devotion. Live it up, live it up, live it up, sweet emotion. Every time, every night, you and I on a roll. Switch it up, switch it up, switch it up where I'm going. Stay on the fly just in time, know the right way to go. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the high.
Huh? I don't know, I forgot I had them. So moving on from upper back, we're going to just finish with some biceps now with the absolute GOAT movement, which is D-handle cable curls. Each hand leaning forward, so a bit of an incline. Get a full stretch back, big squeeze up. Key thing here is not to roll your shoulders, keep your elbows back so don't pull them through.
Satisfaction. Make a move, baby, you got nothing to lose. Give me that, give me that, give me that good reaction. Gonna make it right, little like an offer I can't refuse. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe. You're like a centerfold. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, tested by the motion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar
Just finishing it with the bicep curls we just said, we're just going to finish with a naughty drop set. 60 kilo for 5, then we'll drop to 30 and just burn out.
all that good emotion, just my kind of
Apologies for how dark this little bit is, but yeah, I just wanted to do it in here quickly. So that was the end of the gym session. I think Al wanted to do a little bit more, but time was cracking on. Obviously got things to do. So yeah, pretty good pull session. I'm pretty happy with how the deadlifts went. Yeah, them two are dead strong though, so it's good. It's sometimes good training with people who are stronger than you, just to give you that like extra little push, but you have to know your limitations as well. So like them lads did the 5 plates side on a hammer strength row. There's no way at the minute I can even do that and keep my form. It would have just been pointless, a waste of energy, more risk of injury. The risk to reward just isn't there. But yeah, overall good session. Gonna go home now, have my dinner because I've already had my oats this morning, which fueled me through, and then I will explain my current training split. So this week's been a bit off it. Monday I trained legs with someone else, which I would never normally do. I normally do legs on a Wednesday. Then that meant like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was different. I didn't train yesterday, so Friday I completely skipped it because I knew I was training today. So yeah, a bit of a switch around. Then I'll rest tomorrow, which will be Sunday, and then we'll go back to my plan again starting Monday and aim for them weekly progressions again. So bit of an off it week, but bit like just a bit of a laugh really sometimes. Just good to train with other people, get their insight into how they train, how they've made progress, and if you can take any ideas from them and implement it into your own training, then it's a win-win situation really. So yeah, even like in that session then we were just discussing different things, different techniques, why you might want to do it. Obviously, like I've explained some of it on here to you guys. Hopefully it's beneficial and informative. But if you do have any questions on any sort of training, drop it in the comments and I will respond to you on another video. Also, quick side note, I do have a giveaway coming up very soon. I'm collabing again with Prodo. They are my sponsor. If you haven't seen them, go check them out on Instagram. It's at pro_dough, I believe. If I probably got that wrong, so I'll put a little bit of text here, but check them out. It's protein cookies, if you don't already know about this. Very good, and the company are just about to release some very low calorie cookies, and we got to try them the other day and they were banging, so make sure you stay tuned for them. And yeah, the giveaway is coming very, very soon. But for now, I'll see you at home. Just like magic, I already have this set up. Crazy that. Crazy what we can do for a video. This is already set up when I get home. What are you saying? Right, so yeah, that was the pull session with Al and Luke. Ollie couldn't actually join us in the end, but I'm sure he'll be in another video very soon. As promised, I said I would go through my current training split post-show. The basic feedback from the show was great conditioning, good stage presence, good posing. We just lacked mass, which was going to be a given as we was in an untested federation. So it was against people who were enhanced. Doesn't matter, it is what it is. It's what I went into. I went for the experience, get a feel for what it'd be like to be backstage, pumping up, get the tan on, and then get on the stage and go through mandatories. Or your quarter turns and all like your mandatory like posing that they want you to do in bodybuilding, and then go through my individual routine, and then yeah, see what happened. Unfortunately didn't place in the show, but I never went with the expectation to place. I just went for the experience and to learn from the whole thing really, and to see if I would ever actually want to do it again moving forward, which we do. Bearing that in mind, looking at what we need to do is grow overall, but there's some things that we need to work on more so than others. So for example, quads, very strong point for me, so probably don't need to hit them as hard, although I probably am hitting them just as hard, if not more so, just because it's a strong point and we always want to try and get stronger as well as bring everything else up. Calves are a big one, put more work into that. Traps as well, need some bigger traps for things like the most muscular pose. It's very poor pose for myself, so that's something to work on. Me personally, I'd like to have bigger lats and bigger arms, but that's just a given for everybody. And probably a stronger core midsection as well, so when we do diet down and we're shredded, a bit more blocky, a bit more like sharper looking when we're finally ready for the stage. So with that in mind, I'll just bring up on screen now my current training split. So we have a 5-day split here, not quite a bro split, but we've gone somewhat along the push-pull legs side of it, but we've tried to split it evenly throughout the week, put some thought process into the movements I wanted to do to make sure I got the most out of everything I did, so I wasn't just wasting time on movements that were maybe good but not going to be as beneficial as other movements. So first session of the week is a push session, and we go chest focus. So we just start with some mobility work, then move straight into some cable cuff raises, but we lay down on a incline bench for this, and it's just a good way to hit like the medial part of the deltoid, just really like fire up. I use it for the purpose of like getting better delts, but also to warm up around the shoulder joint before I start pressing. And then I'll move into a pec deck fly, so some isolation work on the chest. Again, the focus here, as you can see the rep range, we are going with a high rep range first, and then I'm going to go straight into a heavy top set, and then just going to back off again just to push some more blood into the pecs, just to build that mind muscle connection. So when I move on to my pressing, I'm fully focusing on my chest, which is what I want to get from the pressing movement. Here I've got converging incline press. So this is the hammer strength machine. Converging meaning it starts wide and goes narrow at the top, so it allows for a better squeeze. Setting up nice and tight to the pad, keeping my chest up, aiming to drive my elbows to meet in the middle. Obviously they won't touch, but with that in mind as your driving force, that is how you get a better squeeze on your pectoral muscles. Again, I just go for like a feeler, bit more weight, and then I go for a heavy set, and then I'll do a back off set as well, just to push some more blood into that area really, so I get the best of both worlds. And then a low incline dumbbell press, been working on this as well, just really to throw it in for like stability really. I absolutely hate doing dumbbell work. Just when it comes to like getting heavy, the risk to reward just isn't there for me, so it's really hard for me to kick 2 dumbbells back with a reasonable weight, get myself to position, try and lock my shoulder blades into the pad, and then press the dumbbells up. I just don't think it's worth it when there's machines out there that you're already set up for, and you can sort of like progressively overload better on them than you can on a dumbbell. That's just my opinion. Then we do Smith machine skull crusher, but I sometimes swap this out for dumbbell skull crusher. Just literally bringing your elbows down by your side, keeping it close. So rather than skull crusher to your head, skull crusher to your chest, just to really try and stretch the tricep. And then yeah, a dual rope or a cuff tricep extension. So that's just cable set to the top, 2 ropes or my cuffs, crossing over if it's the cuffs, and just driving down by my side just to get the triceps again. So that's like a baseline that I've been following. A couple of movements I've swapped out there recently. So yeah, more so been doing like dumbbell skull crusher to my shoulder rather than using the Smith machine, just to feel a better stretch and a better squeeze at the top of the movement. And then with this cuff extension, I've actually been using a incline bench press to lean against. Just when it's getting heavy, I don't want to cheat, don't want to bring my hips into it or anything, just trying to keep it all in the triceps, not using my shoulder or anything, but obviously when it gets heavy, it's much more difficult to keep form, so just doing anything I can to keep me nice and stable. So that's like a push session, then moving on to the legs. Usually start out with like a 10-minute incline walk, just to make sure I've got some blood into the hamstrings. Reason being is just like to reduce risk of injury, simply that. And then I'll always move on to the abductor machine. Generally at the minute I do abduction and adduction together. I'll always start with abduction, so going out like a reasonably good weight for 20 reps, and then I'll come back down. I'll work up the stack to what I can to be. Don't really like doing any less than 10 on this machine, just because it's not really taxing, but it's very good to get around the hips warm, get the glutes warm before I do any like either squatting or whatever I'm going to do as my main compound. And then I like to work on the adduction side of it as well, just because I want to get stronger adductors, and with your adductors looking bigger and thicker on stage, your legs look bigger as well, so you want to look big basically from all different angles. Moving on, so this is the GOAT movement for me on leg day, hack squat. This has been progressing week on week on week. I'll always start with the machine, just make sure I've got no niggles, make sure I'm good, moving freely, then just work up to, well at the minute it's a plate aside for 10 reps. There's like another warm up, and then I'll just go straight into my top set. So most recently was two plates and a 5 extra on each side, so 90 kilo plus the machine. Don't know what it is, but it's heavy. And I only got 5 reps on that, but we'll get 6 next time and we'll just work up from there. And the goal is to get 3 plates aside on that machine, but it's hard work. Do some leg extension as well. Not very many, like this sort of says 4 by 15 to 20, that's what I started with, but I sort of backed off a bit really. And then I'll do some calf raises. I'll mix this up though between some like lower volume, higher weight, and then I'll do some bit lower weight, a bit more reps as well, so try and get the best of both worlds. Then I do have a pull session in the week as well, so we'll do this on a Tuesday. Usually it's push Monday, Tuesday's pull, Wednesday's my leg day, so this pull session will be on a Tuesday. Do a single arm pull down from the top, the cable, using a bench on an incline to keep me supported. Just the direction of the arm and the lat, this is much better than just doing a traditional lat pull down. Work single arm as well, so unilateral movement, again more beneficial than working bilateral, same as anything you do. So I'll start with that, get a good feel for my lats engaging, ready for the movements that I'm going to do later on. Single arm cable row, probably just do it on the same machine as well. Just set the cable at shoulder height roughly, maybe a little bit lower, and just pulling that elbow into my hip again, and again just getting another squeeze around the lats, rhomboids area. And then I do quite like to do, which you'll see in the video, is an incline chest supported dumbbell row. I'm not very strong at this. In the video we've got quite a high incline. I generally do it a lot lower just so I can stay supported with me being so short, like to say, like feet on the ground, almost like straddle the bench, get a good roundness in the back and come up again. Then we throw in some dumbbell shrugs as well. Like I said, need to work on the trap, so just like to add it in. It's not something I've ever done recently, so it is like not a shock to the system, but it's something new. Hard work, generally have to wrap on if I want to like lift some good dumbbells. Cable curls with a bar. That would just be like a flat bar, just literally just in front, getting a good stretch, getting a good squeeze, and then some dumbbell hammer curls as well, just alternating. So again, almost working unilaterally, aiming to go a bit heavier rather than doing bilateral both at the same time, where I often find when it gets too heavy, you're just going to swing your way through it. I do have a secondary push and pull session, so I try and work on movements that I didn't work on in my over 2 sessions. So some lateral raises here, dumbbells. I generally always go like high reps on this, but I'll always try and move some decent weight. At the minute, I've had to lessen the weight a touch because I'm trying to just hold each rep at the top for at least 1 to 2 seconds. Just really sort of trying to get that good contraction in the shoulder, shortening the shoulder at the top of the movement, and just make sure I actually get a good squeeze. Rear delt fly, be with a dumbbell or it will be with a machine, depending on what I'm feeling. Hello mate, you alright? Shelby's here to say hello. And then, so if I haven't done the converging press on the Monday, I'll either do this one, so it would be a Smith machine reverse band press. So it's kind of like a shoulder press, but in a high incline press as well. You'll have seen it on my Instagram loads of times. So I like to do that with a band. Just with a band, when you're at the bottom of the movement, that's when you're weakest. Okay, so it's helping you out like the difficult position. And as you're pushing the bar up, the weight gets heavier, so your triceps start taking the load a lot more. Then we'll move on to like a wide grip T-bar row, so getting that upper back focus. And then we'll go concentration curl. I'll do that on a bench, so just getting a good stretch on the bicep and a good squeeze on the way up. Overhead rope extension, just again, something different to a dumbbell skull crusher, but I'm still working overhead, so I'm getting a good stretch and a good squeeze on the movement. And then just for some ab work, just literally rope crunches with, to work the abs, sorry, just on a cable machine. Just nice and simple, not too taxing, but just enough. And it's the one I sort of like engage best with. It might not actually be the best movement for abs, but it's one I like to do. And then legs again, but it's really like a legs and an arm day. So we'll do probably some light abduction and adduction again, because I'll move on to deadlift afterwards. Keep doing that every Friday, just to try and keep progressing, because the aim is to get 180 for 10. That's the goal, but this is sort of like the basics that I've been following to make sure I can get to there. Split squat, don't really do them on a Friday anymore. I sort of just chucked them in as and when I'm not too taxed from the hack squat, because at the minute with the weight I've done on the hack squat, I'm gassed afterwards, so it's a real struggle. But I feel my quads, hammies and glutes have been absolutely smashed on that hack squat. So it's just really, if I think I've got a bit more push in me today, I'll do the split squat. And then if I fancy it as well, some dumbbell seated calf raise, just to throw in something different. And then I'll just move on to an arm session. So things like D-handle cable curls, so a D-handle in each hand, standing up, which we did in this pull session, which you'll see. It's probably one of the best bicep movements I've ever done in terms of like mind muscle connection and just actually like growing the bicep. You feel a good squeeze and a good stretch. And then I'll just do tricep movements from like dips, and then push downs again, different variations, and then some other bicep work as well. Don't really like do too much, it's just a bit more, it's just another chance for me to like throw some more volume in on my arms, but without like overdoing it. And I just try and be selective on movements. So like I'll put a preach curl in there as well, just gotta find it beneficial for like getting a good stretch. It's very strict, and it's hard for me to progress. So I find hard movements, like movements that I'm finding hard to progress on, are going to be beneficial for me, because with it not being easy, it means like I'm not just picking like the easiest thing in the gym for me to do. Like I am picking movements that I like think I'm going to struggle on this, but I've got to do it because it's going to be beneficial long run. That's sort of how it's going at the minute. And then aside from that, more recently I've just started like biking to work as well, a couple of times a week. If I'm feeling good, sometimes once a week. It's not like, I don't want to do it for like terms of like cardio or anything, but just more for like the rising cost of fuel and stuff. If I'm being brutally honest, I just refuse to pay it all the time. So I'll just do the biking until it gets like probably the changing clocks, and then I'll just sack it off because it's not worth it. It'd be too dark and too cold. But yeah, at the minute that is the current training split. So I do a lot of the same movements every week. A couple of things change depending on like what's available and that, but generally like I always want to do like some sort of incline press for my chest. I always try and do like single arm pull downs for my lats and single arm rows, like on the hammer strength as well. I'll throw that in if I can't do like a cable row. And then leg wise, you're talking, I'm always going to do the hack squat, and I'm always going to deadlift every week. And in this maintenance phase of my calories, I seem to be progressing every week on pretty much every movement, which is decent, and the weight's sitting comfortably. So my last weigh-in, which will be on when we did this video, was 74.4 kilo. So we're quite light still, but we're making good gains. The main thing in the back of my mind all the time is not to get to where I was in September last year. So that's like a big something I need to stay away from forever, because I never want to be in that position again. We want to just be lean as possible, growing as much muscle as possible, as strong as possible, basically for next year when I'll prep again for a show. I don't know when my show is going to be. A lot of people ask me, it's like, when am I competing again? I don't have a clue. I won't find out until next year. Usually they release dates in January for what's coming up in the year, so I'll just wait to see what shows are coming up, and then we'll just find a suitable date and work back from that. How long will I need to prep? No idea. I think if I give myself a long time again, then it gives me the best chance to like bring the best condition I could possibly bring again. As long as I beat myself like I did this year, if I beat that package, and then who knows, we might even be able to win a show, which would be amazing. And low key in the back of my mind, it is what I want, so we'll see. But yeah, that is the current training split. So it's very much like a push-pull legs, like almost like twice, but I put one push and pull together, so I only have to do 5 times a week. But it seems to be working at the minute. We are progressing weekly on pretty much everything, and it's been probably 9 weeks since show day, so maybe a bit longer. But yeah, that's it. So if you did enjoy the video, as always, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next video. Say bye.